fuzzy, isn't it? How are we doing? Who is there? So, hello! This this live is all about why you need veggies and not biscuits at this time. So if any of you happen to be here, please say hello to me so that I'm not my own. I just thought I'd give an extra half an hour due to the news. Hopefully you're not all feeling too wobbly. Exciting times ahead. I guess we all kind of knew it was coming, never mind. My kids are very excited. I'm not. I don't do homeschooling. And then I pointed out to my daughter this means we wouldn't be going ball dress shopping. So now she's not so happy. So I'm just going to say, if any one of you are there, please give me a wave so that I know that you're there. I do appreciate that. You might not be. You might be driving to the Coromandel. So I want to talk to you about vegetables. Now, you know that I love vegetables, and you know I bang on about vegetables a lot. But I thought I wanted to give some context to it and explain why I love vegetables. So we've all heard about the 5 a day, which is usually the 3 veggies and 2 fruit a day. And that's because there's always been studies to show that fruit and veg are really, really good for us. We know that. There's nothing new about that. We know that if you eat lots of fruit and veg, then it reduces the risk of heart disease, it reduces the risk of cancer and death from chronic disease. We know that. But what's been interesting is that there's never really been a study actually looking at, well, how much should we really be eating? What studies have been done that actually shows that this amount is all right, or this amount is too much, or what do the studies say? So in 2017, there was a study done that's basically called a meta-analysis. And a meta-analysis is really when they look at lots and lots of studies, scientific studies, that are basically looking at the same question, which was the health benefits of vegetables. And then all the results are combined. They use statistical software, and they basically come up with a combined conclusion based on lots and lots of different studies. So this is what's happened. There was a meta-analysis done in 2017, and what they were particularly wanting to find out was, is there a dose of vegetables and fruit that really showed that they were the best health benefits, or having that number of vegetables and fruit really did show a huge benefit to health. And this is really important because countries around the world have different recommended amounts. So the World Cancer Research Fund and also I think the World Health Organization, they actually recommend about 400 grams, which is about 5 serves a day, which is where the 5 a day came from. And then I think England has about 500 grams a day. Sweden, England has has 400 grams. Sweden has 500 grams. Denmark has 600 grams. Norway has up to 750 grams, and I think the US is about up to 800 grams. So all of these countries have different amounts, which is really confusing. And New Zealand has the smallest amount of all, actually. I think New Zealand's, that's only about, that's probably about 400. It might even be less than that, actually. So what the researchers did at Imperial College in London was that they actually looked at about 95 different studies that included about 2 million people from right across the world. And what they do is they look at studies that are called prospective studies. So they actually basically look at people over a long, long period of time, and then they have a look at, they look at them being sick or a group of people, and then they have a look and say, well, what did you do for 10 years prior to that? And they looked at people with heart disease. There's about 43,000 people with heart disease, 47,000 people that had stroke, 81,000 people that had cardiovascular disease, which is heart and blood vessels, 112,000 cancer cases, and 94,000 deaths that were from disease. So these weren't natural deaths. And what they do is they basically look at the people within a group and look at the ones that are healthy and didn't get sick and the ones that did get sick, and have a look at their diet. So they take into account lots of different variables, and what they were really doing was just looking at what were they eating that really might have made a difference, and the thing that has to be really obvious difference. So they took into account whether people were obese or whether they were, of a normal weight, whether they smoked, whether they were physically fit. But they found that actually the amount of fruit and veg was the thing that made the biggest difference. So we know that hi Robin, how are you? About 200 grams, which is about 2.5 serves roughly. So that's actually quite a small amount. That's less than our 5 a day. That actually gave a 4% reduction risk of cancer, all different types of cancers, and 15% reduction of dying early from disease. So even 2.5 serves makes a difference. But what they found is that actually the more you ate, the better it was. So anywhere between 600 grams and 800 grams were massive reductions of risk from getting sick and dying from disease. And 800 grams actually was the biggest reduction of all. Now, they didn't go any higher than 800 grams because most of the studies all capped it. So it could be that if you ate even more, it would be better. There is, I would say, we have to be really careful that we don't overdo it, because you could be really healthy and eat a really beautiful plant-based diet, but you can also eat a plant-based diet and be unhealthy because you're not getting the fat, you're not getting the protein, you're not getting other things as well. So, and I've seen people who are extremely health conscious and be sick because they're actually not really eating balanced. So this isn't about just eating vegetables and fruit and nothing else. This is about having this as your main, but still adding in the protein and the fat and carb. I mean, vegetables are largely carb anyway. So I want to explain to you about the reductions, because this is, I think, is really exciting. And this is why I'm so passionate about vegetables, and it's why I push 600 to 800 grams of veggies. Like 9 to 10 serves of veggies is really what I'm pushing at the moment. And a lot of it is coming from this study. So when people were having about 800 grams of veggies, which is about 10 serves of fruit and vegetables a day, then there was a 24% reduced risk of getting heart disease. There was a 33% reduced risk of stroke, 28% reduced risk of heart and blood vessel cardiovascular disease, 13% reduced risk of cancer, and a 31% reduced risk of premature death. So that's dying from a chronic disease. So that's massive. That's just from eating vegetables. That's not even including what happens if you exercise, if you sleep well, if you deal with stress, if you deal with all of those other things, if you cut down your alcohol and your red meat. This is purely just making sure that you get 10 serves of veggies and fruit a day. You can make a massive difference to your health. They also found, and I'm going to explain to you what a serve of vegetable looks like as well in a minute. They did also have a look at whether specific fruits, it is a significant reduced risk, it's massive. They also looked at whether specific vegetables or fruits made a difference. Now, I'm not a huge lover of saying, broccoli and kale, superfoods, blueberries are superfoods. I really would much rather people just ate what they liked from a range and a variety and a colour. But they did find that certain fruits and veggies really did make a big difference too. So at least get these into your diet as well as the other foods. So apples and pears were found to, so basically apples and pears, citrus, funny that, vitamin C, your green leafy veggies such as your spinach and your lettuce, chicory, your cruciferous vegetables, which I love, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, yum, cauliflower, cabbage. They all were specifically good at reducing the risk of heart disease, stroke, and also early death from those. So you actually increase your length of life by eating your apples, pears, citrus, greens, salads, and your broccoli and your Brussels. Specifically anything green veggies, yellow veggies, and your anything with basically your vitamin A. So your carrots, your red and yellow capsicums, and your cruciferous vegetables, again, your broccoli and your cauliflower and your Brussels sprouts, they all showed that they reduce cancer risk. So you get those in your diet. We also know that fruit and veg have been shown to reduce cholesterol levels, blood pressure. So if any of you have any problems with blood pressure, you need to be having 10 serves of your fruit and veg. So when I say 10 serves of fruit and veg, I don't mean 10 serves of fruit. I mean 2 serves of fruit a day max, and then the other 8 should be vegetables. We know that the fruit and veg boost the health of our blood vessels. So if any of you've got any problems with your blood vessels, whether it's varicose veins, hemorrhoids, again, this is why you need vegetables and fruit. Immunity, there's a surprise, and particularly at this time, you want to be boosting your immunity. If you want to be boosting your immunity, 10 serves of fruit and veg, people. And that's because of all the nutrients. So we know there's lots and lots and lots of beautiful plant nutrients. Usually they're the reason why fruit and veg are colourful. That's why we talk about eating a rainbow, because these amazing nutrients actually do amazing things to the body. So a lot of them are antioxidant, and when our tissues rust, for want of a better word, that then can create tissue damage, and that's one of the inflammation and oxidation are kind of the 2 main drivers to something like cancer and heart disease. So that's why they work. So they actually stop the DNA from getting damaged because they are antioxidants, and that then stops cancer down the line. So that's why they're so important. So eating colours, eating a rainbow is so important, because those colours all represent something that's anti-inflammatory, something that's antioxidant. A lot of the nutrients help with the detoxification of crap in our cells and gets it out, so that we poop it out and pee it out and sweat it out and breathe it out and all of the other things. So it's really important that we get those veggies in for that reason. There are there's a couple of really important nutrients as well. So there's something called glucosinolates, which are found again in cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, and they activate specific enzymes in the body that help prevent cancer. We also know there's another beautiful nutrient called sulforaphane that again comes from cruciferous veggies, that comes from broccoli. And that again is antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, it's detoxifying. It also activates natural antibiotics. And so when you take an antibiotic, whether it's a herb or whether it's pharmaceutical, that antibiotic can't differentiate between the good bacteria in our gut and a bad bacteria from outside. And so it basically kills everything. Will kill whatever. But our body makes antibiotics that specifically target something that shouldn't be there, that's something from outside of our body. So that's pretty cool. And sulforaphane does that. The other thing, of course, which is really important for any of you with gut problems, and also mental health, there's a huge link between gut health and our mental health, which I know I've alluded to in the past. Vegetables and fruits are not just fibre, so not only do they feed the good bacteria, they also work like a broom for the bum, they clear everything out, but they're what we call prebiotics. So a lot of prebiotics are specifically beneficial to our gut bacteria, and our gut bacteria use those to produce other chemicals called short-chain fatty acids, which feed our large intestine, and that stops things like colon cancer, because that affects the pH in the colon as well. So there's lots and lots and lots of things going on in our bodies when we eat fruit and veg that's all about making us live long and being as healthy as possible. So it's really, really important. So as much as you can, aim to have about, say, 3 or 4 servings of fruit and veg for lunch, and 3 or 4 servings of veg for dinner. So I'd say no more than 2 pieces of fruit a day. You could have your 2 servings of fruit for breakfast, or have them as snacks. So basically a standard serve of fruit is about 150 grams-ish, which is roughly 1 medium apple, or one medium pear, or 1 banana, or 1 orange. It might be 2 small apricots, or 2 kiwi fruits, or 2 plums. So when they're kind of small, then you need 2 of them, and that's 1 serve. And 2 kiwi fruit will give you more than enough vitamin C to saturate your tissues, which again, really important at this time of COVID. So, get your 2 kiwi fruits a day, really good for your gut as well. Your gut loves kiwi fruit. 1 cup of diced fruit or canned fruit. So if you could get the canned fruit, there's no added sugar. Well, sometimes I have canned fruit. and I'll get the ones in juice, but I'll always drain it and I rinse it in water to get rid of any of the juice as well. So, use your frozen fruit. Like if you're using berries, then 1 cup would be a serving size. So that's your fruit. So you don't want any more than 2 pieces or 2 serves of fruit a day. Now, vegetables are a bit different because it does kind of sometimes depend on the type of vegetable, but roughly 1 standard serve is about 75 grams. So that would look like half a cup of cooked greens, or it might be, so that would be like half a cup of broccoli, or half a cup of cooked spinach. And like you could have a handful of spinach and then you cook it and it just disappears. So we're talking half a cup of wilted spinach, half a cup of carrots, or half a cup of pumpkin. That would be 1 serve. Half a cup of, say, dried or canned beans, so that's your legumes. So that could be your peas or your kidney beans, your cannellini beans or your edamame beans, half a cup. Or lentils, that's roughly 1 serve. 1 cup of green leafy, or raw salad veggies, like 1 cup of lettuce or mizuna or rocket or baby spinach, 1 cup, that's 1 serve. Half a cup of sweet corn. So that's your kernels. Half a potato is a serve, or other starchy veggies. So that's sweet potato or even taro or cassava. So if you're having 4 potatoes on your dinner plate, that's actually more serves. But to be honest, what I would say is I wouldn't count potato as a veggie. Yes, it is a veggie. But you could have 3 serves of veggies and it's all potato. And to be honest, it's not as healthy as all of the others. So I always treat potato as though it's a carbohydrate, like I would pasta or rice or grains. And half a plate should be other veggies, not potato. 1 medium tomato is a serve as well. So hopefully that gives you a rough idea. So I really want you to go forward and really think about how you can start adding veggies in your breakfast, whether it's having a breakfast salad. So you can make an omelette and add veggies in. I made an omelette this morning where I threw half a carrot in. I had a cupful of actual salad and I chopped it up and I threw that in as well. Some chopped tomatoes, whole tomato, chop it all up, put it in an omelette, and then I had that for breakfast. So it is doable. If you prefer fruit, then have fruit, but remember, like 2 serves. So you can have your 2 serves of fruit for breakfast. If you're doing smoothies, you could have 3 or 4 veggies and 1 or 2 pieces of fruit in your smoothie, and then that's really cool. You're not going to get all the fiber, so it's much better if, yes, you do it like that, but you really want to have proper solid vegetables that's got the skin on when you can. So I never peel my potatoes, I don't peel my carrots. I leave the skin on because the skin is fiber, which is really important. So any questions about that? I know I've talked quite a lot. I get very excited. I just love what vegetables do. And it's cheaper than a lot of the other stuff that's out there. Robin says, I had leftover veggies from dinner with scrambled egg. Perfect, yes. And in fact, I've just done that. Well, I've got some creamy, lots of different greens. I've got spinach and silver beet and leek that I mixed together, and with some butter that we had for dinner, and I've got some potatoes that I cooked in some stock. I'm having that for breakfast with an egg on top. Perfect. So you could definitely have veggies for breakfast. It's quite a Western view that we have cereal for breakfast. Most of the world does not have cereal for breakfast or fruit for breakfast. They have, like, their dinner is the same as their breakfast. So it's kind of a Western view that we should have cereal and then we have our vegetables for dinner. But we need to be having vegetables throughout the day. So really aim for 4 vegetables for lunch and 4 or 5 at dinner as well. And let me know how you get on. If you're really stuck, let me know. I can send you veggie recipes. I'm actually going to write this all up and I will put this in a little handout. So if you want the handout, please say yes, please, I want the handout in the comments, and I will make sure you get the handout, and I'll add some vegetable recipes for you. 2. So is there any other questions? I think, Robin, you're the only person that's live. So thank you so much for being with me. I can see there's another person, but that person's quiet. So the message is, don't buy toilet rolls for the next 7 days. Go and buy vegetables. Vegetables are so much more necessary for your health and your immunity than toilet paper. Yes, I'm sure we will all be eating biscuits and chocolate and wine, but try and get your 10 serves of veggies in every day too. This is a perfect time to really play around with some recipes and up your veggies. Think how happy your tummy will be, your brain will be, and your immune system will be. Fantastic. Any other comments or questions? I think I've talked for 20 minutes. That's probably 20 minutes too long. If any of you are watching the replay, I'm sure some of you will be at home for the next 3 days, maybe even 7 days. So you'll have time to watch this. Please ask any questions or give me any comments in the comments section. If you watch the replay, say hashtag replay so I know you're watching the replay, and please ask me questions. I love questions and I would love to answer any that you might have. So I will leave you to the rest of your evening. Unless I've got any more comments or questions. I don't think so. Sometimes it takes 5 seconds to come through. So have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And I will see you later. Take care, everyone. And thank you, Robin. Thank you for turning up.